Howdy, howdy, everybody. Welcome back
How's
to Romancing in the Stones. I'm joined here with Angelo. How's it going?
it's going great, man. How you doing, Robert?
I'm making it through the day, ready for some magic. Uh, I haven't even looked at the deck list that I sent you yet. Anything fun?
Um, yeah, man. The uh, this is going to be a wild matchup. We've got I think the first one you sent me was that Mike's
That
the
was
mono
Mike,
black list
yes.
here. So it looks like Mike's on some mono black, just good cards. Although, oh no, he's doing the dragon combo thing. Okay,
Yeah, I
I
was
was reading
looking
the
for it.
list.
I see
Yeah.
some black cards. I'm like, oh, there it is. Okay, cool, sweet.
So I don't know if like Raja can totally claim credit for this deck, but Raja's been the one who's been kind of championing this deck, and I've tested against him for hours with it. It packs a serious punch, but sometimes it just doesn't get there. And then it looks like Mike is running what appears to be Stifle Knot in the main with a really insane sideboard plan that I think we shouldn't even mention until after game one. What do you
I
think?
like surprises.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. So, if you're watching at home, just know that Mike's going to get real weird after game one, um, in a way that I don't know. I think it's pretty
Oh
cool.
no,
It
that's
looks
not
like
Mike. That's Kyle's sideboard plan.
oh
I'm looking at
Kyle,
it
excuse
now.
me.
Oh man,
Yeah, yeah.
holy!
So Kyle's going to get real weird out of the game. Now, I just want to mention, it looks like Kyle has a foil to Fairy's Isle in his deck,
That's
which
exciting.
yeah, I don't know what you're gonna do with that, but sure. Okay, so Mike's down with the cursed scroll,
All
and
right,
Kyle led with the old Warhorse Treetop Village.
I like this start. I'm a Curse Scrolls man after my own heart. I'm on board. Um, honestly, now you mentioned the sideboard plan. I can't take my eyes off of it. I'm very excited
I
for
know.
this. I just
Fun
hope
to
we
watch the
see it.
match.
I don't care what happens. Kyle will win our hearts.
Yes. Well, and Kyle's the kind of guy who, especially since he's on stream, whether he needs that plan or not, he's going to go into it. All right, so both players coming with land drops on curve, which is always good. It means we're going to have a nice game of Magic here. Mike's got some beautiful swamps there.
If you're going to play an
I
all black deck, that is something that I feel like you should at least try to put a little effort into.
Yeah.
You get rarely nowadays do you actually get the chance to just pick a bunch of the same basic land anymore. So you really get to have an opportunity to make a statement.
Right, and just I mean, it's one of the cool things is like portal lands, for example. Like,
Mm-hmm.
when were those cool? Never, except now that
Now,
they're a thing. Yeah. All right, so Kyle getting in for three with that Treetop Village. In my personal experience, getting in with Treetop Village early on is a really good use of your mana.
yeah.
Um, I used to wait and like cast other spells and stuff, but in middle school, that three damage adds up.
Well, you mentioned that there were some dreadnoughts looking around. So if we, get another hit, maybe two more, maybe Mike takes some damage from something, then dreadnought goes from a 2 turn clock to a 1 turn clock. So that is
Excellent
very
point.
reasonable. It's also nice
I mean,
because sometimes dreadnought doesn't make a 12-12 and then dies. And at least
mhm,
these treetops give it another game plan.
yep.
And conveniently, I think Stifle Knot's pretty camouflaged right now. Period. Personally.
Oh yeah, he has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Uh, and the Cabal Pit too is gonna chip away at Mike's life here.
Yeah. Cabal Pit doesn't do well against Phyrex and Dreadnought in any stage of the game.
No, it'll come in handy after game one maybe.
I
But
mean, yeah.
dude, just doing the thing,
Yeah,
just beating.
sure. Well, this puts Kyle in a position to play another land next turn and, maybe leave something up and attack. But Mike has shown that he doesn't have any tools to get rid of this. This Curse Scroll does not do much against
Yeah.
the 3/3s.
Um, Kyle coming out of the gates. What does Mike have that can save him? Let's take a look at this list here. I So maybe like a spinning darkness just at a treetop village. That would be pretty punishing.
Yes, that would be. I'm looking at the rest of
Oh,
his list.
Mike's spinning the scroll on 5 cards.
Hey, we talked about using your mana. If we're just gonna untap otherwise, then by all means.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Why not show your
Spin
opponent
is that a spinning darkness? We have it.
Well, yeah, there goes the whole surprise plan. So now, was that the card he named?
He did. Kyle took 2. Wow.
Okay, so
So does that imply Mike is lucky, or that he has more than 1 spinning darkness in hand?
did Kyle take 2? Because I'm not seeing it on the life counter.
I see it now. Maybe there goes. It just was slow to update.
Hella delay. Okay, so either he has multiple spinning darknesses, of which he has 2 main. Either way, here's the question: if you're Kyle, do you swing?
I mean, like if you've got nothing else to like, let's get rid of the spinning darkness on this treetop, I suppose. Let me actually look up spinning darkness. Maybe does it interact with the Dreadnought? Can it kill artifacts? Black cards sometimes don't.
Damage to a creature.
Right? Oh, how? Yeah, no, it does not kill Dreadnought.
Yeah, so I mean that's what Mike's going for. Now again, Mike doesn't know. I guess the Lotus Petal might be a little bit of a tip off that Kyle's up to no good over there.
We don't have enough black cards to actually do this. So spinning darkness is not live.
Oh man, so he's just at the mercy of whatever Kyle wants to do.
I think Treetop Village is a good enough card on its own against Mike's deck that this is just a problem.
Now, if Mike can pull together, what does it take to turn on Cabal Pit? I forget.
All we need to do is Entomb, World Gorger Dragon, and then reanimate it, and have another Entomb, potentially.
No, I mean the Cabal Pit.
The Cabal Pit. Sorry.
Threshold to give.
Yeah, you have to have Threshold to do anything with it.
So Mike's just treading water here.
Yes. I mean, if we have no, there's no mana accelerants. I think we haven't. I mean, we could put a. No, it needs to be black card to the graveyard. I don't see a good way out. We need 3 more land to get to Spinning Darkness.
Well, Mike's already running light on land. It looks like he's got maybe 22 lands in this deck.
Yeah, he's already missed a land drop, I believe. I mean, we could get a Mishra's Factory. He has those. Wait a turn, and then it can at least trade. That's not a bad option. It is a 2-turn solution, unless we can go runner, but he hasn't shown he has any. So
Mike also has. He should have the Nether Spirits in here, or another spirit to be able to just block, but you're still taking a damage.
Yep. Oh, do you see him? We're just throwing cards in the graveyard, which Phyrexian Furnace isn't black, so Mike shouldn't be doing that.
Well, I mean, he still probably wants to get the Threshold, because if you get to Threshold and you come up with 2 more mana, you can Curse Scroll and pop the Pit and knock one of those things out. But again, I mean, does he have time?
Well, we cast Innocent Blood to put a card in the yard, and then just sequenced it poorly, I think, there. Because then Innocent Blood got exiled. Does he have any Wastelands? No.
Or no, he was probably just digging. He was probably just trying to draw an extra card there and get any kind of action whatsoever.
Oh, sure. Do you need card in the graveyard to draw a card? I guess maybe you do.
Yeah,
you have to have a target.
I had that problem the other night. I was wanting to draw a card with my Furnace and realized that it's not optional. Like, you have to exile a card to draw the card.
So, yeah, that's definitely not not how they draw cards up today. So, yeah, Mike O'Malley's deck.
At this point, Mike can't tap that Cabal Pit.
No, no, he cannot. Unless it's going to. Oh, we're flinging. Now he literally can't tap it.
Village.
Okay, so
maybe that's why he did it. Why wouldn't you attack with 2 treetop villages? I guess he wants to keep the gemstone mine for some reason.
Yeah. Maybe a stifle or something to like stifle a trigger. So Mike's at 4. We didn't entomb. So Mike's deck. Wow, that is not how Mike drew that up. That is for certain.
So let's just take 30 seconds and throw some appreciation on Treetop Village as as a Magic card in this format.
Sure.
Because I mean that card single-handedly, literally won Kyle that game, and then I mean I've been having a lot of success with it in my deck. I think it's underrated. It dodges a lot of the removal in the format. When it does get removed, it comes into play tapped, so it's not like it's a situation where when you're playing it, you really need the mana. Like if you're playing Treetop Villages, you have extra lands in your deck because you got to activate it. You're not worried about tap lands. So if somebody manages to snipe it with a bolt or something, all right, I'll play another land. Like I think it's a good card.
I agree. It's probably so. My history with the card in this format has been, I was playing the Rock. I put 2 in my deck, thinking, I don't think I want the 3rd one. After the first league, I was like, I am an idiot. I need minimum 3, maybe even the 4th one in the Rock, and that's like. It's kind of counter to the plan a little bit, just because it's not as big as some of the other big dumb idiots in that deck, but it's a great card. Obviously here, there's not a lot of removal that can get rid of it. I mean, there's some of the format all-stars we have. We have Sword to Plowshares that'll get rid of it. Wasteland will get rid of it. Lightning Bolt.
Is this a common addition for Dreadnought decks? I mean, I don't remember. Like, why is he even playing green just to do the sideboard thing?
Yeah, I think this is just a pet deck, and that is actually a very interesting point. There are all these green cards just to enable green mana sources, just to enable Treetop Village. He wanted the Treetop Village despite not having any green cards main deck.
That's pretty insane. So, I mean, it looks like it worked out really well.
Yeah, I really think it's just for this madness sideboard plan.
And is Kyle, are we looking at a couple of 2-0 players right now?
I don't know, chat. Mr. Tweety in the chat. What's the record of these players?
I'm supposed to be the Discord guy. Let me.
These are undefeated players, yes.
Okay. Well, not for long.
Not for long. So, I mean, what is Mike's deck trying to do? It's mono black. It's got a lot of the same sort of hand disruption spells. We've got 8 discard spells between Duress and Cabal Therapy. We've got the Pit that makes you discard cards, I believe. Right? In the Bottomless Pit? No, maybe?
No, this is the...
no, not that.
So
it's just
what he's trying to do is combo off with World Gorger Dragon and Animate Dead. Right. So you get the infinite mana situation, and then you can win with Ambassador Laquatus and mill the opponent out. There's a contamination lock in the deck with another spirit contamination. Basically, the whole deck is to buy time until you can do infinite mana and win with Curse Scroll or Ambassador Laquatus.
That makes sense.
And the Laquatus line is interesting because with Nether Spirit, right? Usually when Nether Spirit's like the only dude in your deck, you're going to be cool to get it back every time. Having Laquatus and the Dargon make it a little risky if somehow Kyle gets the Laquatus in the graveyard before he gets to do anything. All right, so now, there's the deck. So turn 1 Duress. It looks like Kyle had to keep a six card hand.
Yep, I don't see. I mean, Mana Leak is strong against some of the stuff Mike wants to do. He's one card away from having a 12/12. I don't see any sideboard cards. When we do, we will absolutely alert the audience. One thing to note, Mike has an alternative win condition rather than using a mana sink for Ambassador Laquatus. He can. It is deterministic with Curse Scroll in play to eventually kill your opponent with infinite mana and infinite activations of that. So Mike was actually, maybe 1 or 2 cards away from winning that game.
That's true. With these decks, I mean, Mike's actually gets you there. Kyle's gets you most of the way there. But, you can go from 0 to hero in, a turn.
In a single draw step. So... chat, let us know who your 0 or hero is right now, and we'll see if you pick correctly here. Following up with another Duress. Okay, so we're gonna just snap the combo right out of Kyle's hands.
Yep.
Mike, Didn't play, missed another land drop. So what is happening? Why? What did we keep the hand on? Is this do we have like an Entomb Reanimate situation going on?
Mike's build is a little light on lands.
Okay.
I see 16 Swamp, 4 Factories, and a Cabal Pit.
All right. So if we have an Entomb and Reanimate in hand, the game could be over.
Could be.
We know Kyle had some counter magic, had some interaction, no longer does. Now this, we're tapping the land. Ooh, that means this Capsize is not going to save him because he can't cast the Curse Scroll in the middle of the combo. But
Kyle
yeah, okay, so
Kyle does not know what he's on, so.
This is true.
He doesn't know he's about to get punched in the mouth.
Well, at least Kyle's going to feel it back, I suppose, after just browbeating Mike with lands.
True. So if Mike grabs a dragon here, we know he has it.
Yeah, I think he kept his hand based
has
off the fact of double duress, 1 land and tomb. He had the combo in hand. He just had to draw a second mana source, which I think is reasonable. Off the back of double duress to buy you some time, which definitely seems to be the case. Yeah, all we have to do is untap, cast, animate dead here, and Kyle is tapped out. Unless he just got Force of Will, there is a blue card, and he could have Force of Will in an unknown. So let's see if Mike gets the blowout. Oh, we have a third mana source too.
And I know he's holding an Entomb because he flashed you.
Sure. All right, Dance the Dead.
All right, here we go, baby.
Does this resolve?
How long does it
Kyle
take
makes
Kyle
no gestures that we can see. Okay, Mike's going to explain what's happening. We're going to get infinite mana, infinite chances to activate Curse Scroll. You've got, I don't know, a small amount of cards in hand. We're going to eventually get you for 20.
So this is the part where Mike says, I'm winning. Do you want to try to stop me? And, oh, you know what? Kyle is also playing a deck full of Stifles. And,
right. Stifle interacts with this deck. So, and even Capsize would have stopped the combo here right now. Because you can Capsize the Curse Scroll in the middle of the combo. And then the game is a draw.
You can phase out the World Gorger Dragon.
That only phases out artifacts? Or is it creatures?
Yeah, you might be right. I'm looking it up.
You could have phased out the Curse Scroll.
There you go.
So like, if Kyle had not tapped out here, Kyle would have drawn this game with a Capsize.
Oh, hilariously enough, if your opponent has a lot of bravado, let's say Mike made 10,000 mana first, then you phase out the Cursed Scroll.
Oh, we have mana burn. Yeah, mana burn is.
So this is dicey. All right, let's see Kyle's force. It's now or never, Kyle. Now, I'm not listening to the players, but either Mike didn't explain it to him or Kyle's got something.
Yeah. Mike's got 2 cards.
Or Kyle's going to make him do it. Kyle is the kind of guy that would make you do it.
I think Kyle would do that just because we're on stream. So he's going to at least make him present it and show it. And Mike does the universal motion for, infinite loop, right?
I think it would have been courteous of Mike to at least show us what 2 cards were in his hand, don't you think? Like
I would have liked it just because I want to know if Mike had it all, had another Entomb.
All right, chat says if you phase the scroll, it will be a draw. That's probably true.
Yeah, so what ends up happening is the mana, mana burn never gets a chance to do it because the World Gorger combo never gets interrupted. So you never get a chance to end and, empty your mana pool. So chat, why would it be a draw? It is because there's an infinite loop between World Gorger's interaction for coming into play and leave play abilities that you can never interrupt without another creature in the graveyard or another target or something to spend the mana on that ends the game.
He did have an Entomb in his hand, so he would have been able to
perfect.
Entomb for another creature and pop that out.
Yeah, so he could have gone for his Liquidus and milled out his opponent, or he could have gone for his Another Spirit.
Why would you do that if you're going to lose the game?
Right.
So Mike could confidently make 10,000 mana and then force a draw.
Yep.
All right, so those were 2 pretty fast games.
Yeah, I mean, like we identified earlier, these players go from 0 to hero real fast with the draw step. And Mike knew what he was doing. He kept a hand on the back of, I'm going to draw this land within 2 turns to win on time. And he had double duress to make sure he actually got there. And Kyle just didn't get to have all the things.
Double duress. So here's the real question, Robert. If Kyle did not reach for the sideboard, which it doesn't look like he did, he shuffled up pretty fast there. Do we expose his plan, or do we let future opponents discover the wrath?
If he doesn't show, if he doesn't actually bring in the sideboard cards, which it looks like he didn't, then I'm going to campaign vigorously for him to be on camera next week just to expose the sideboard plan.
Yeah, we shouldn't expose the man.
No, I think it's lovely. It is brilliant in its own way, and I'm just sad I didn't think of it first.
Yeah, seriously. Sorry, chat. It's real novel. It's real cool. And me and Robert have the intel.
Yeah, so if you too want this inside scoop, ask to be a commentator. Come on over. We'd love to have you. You'll get to see the deck list for the week, which means you get to see sweet stuff like this cool sideboard.
I don't know if that's enough incentive to give up 3 hours on a Thursday night. I like commentating, but I'm going to feel bad when I play Kyle.
You're just like, no, don't sideboard me, bro.
Knowing his secrets, yeah. All right, so game 3. Let's see. I feel like these 2 decks are pretty evenly matched. I think Mike's is a little more lethal. So Mike's combo takes maybe an extra step or 2 to assemble, but once he gets there, it's over, right?
And he is playing some number of demonic tutors, between the entombs and looks like a groom tutor or something. So,
well, if Mike was going to sideboard, he would need. I don't see what in his sideboard is really going to help him besides unmask.
Unmask is just good against blue permission, and even combo. We've seen a Dreadnaught, so we know we've got some number of innocent bloods between the sideboard and the main. So having more access to those is great, because it's just a 1 mana answer to this 12/12.
Just 1 extra, but yeah.
Yep. So those are probably some of the things that I'm interested in. I mean, if we were really worried about these treetop villages, maybe we bring in the extra Nether Spirit to make sure we get the contamination lock or something, but
extra spinning darkness too,
maybe. But I think if we can just go duress into combo, look at this. We take this stifle, and now Kyle's dead in the water to entomb reanimate, if that's what we've got.
Kyle was coming in hot, and then we saw his hand. It got kind of sad.
Yep.
I guess the green splash works a little better because Dreadnaught costs colorless, right? So
yes,
part of your combo is universally castable.
Mike's following up with very similar plays last time. 1 mana into duress, 2 mana into this curse scroll potentially, and entomb. Kyle may be hiding a mana leak, with this pedal, double pedal maybe.
Expensive mana leak.
If I'm Kyle though, stopping the combo seems great. I'll draw another land and be able to keep activating my treetop maybe.
It is life or death, and treetop appears to be kind of kryptonite for Mike.
Yes, Mike did not have the entomb. He does have a 3rd land. All right, let's see. What are we doing with 3 land? Oh, we're going to cast Nether Spirit. Look what this does. This blocks every turn and buys, nets Mike a life, 2 life. Treetop will trample over for 1, but this does buy Mike quite a bit of time.
Is that a white corner in the bottom of his Nether Spirit? Does that mean he proxied that card?
That is either a proxy or it is a from one of the convention center mystery boxes or something.
No,
where
the mystery box has the planeswalker symbol a little farther up and to the left.
Yeah,
I think Mike had to print that out.
It's close to there. I mean,
I might have to take Mike's magic card away.
All right, Mike, when you go back and watch this video, I expect you to come into Discord and defend your honor.
Right. Printing out Nether spirits is sus.
Man, this just blocker. Now look at this. Kyle's drawn 3 treetop villages. 3 of them. Have he have in his deck? Have you drawn them all? I don't know. Like this is. I think this is all of them. This is wild.
I'm pulling up a price on foil treetop village.
Expensive. I'm gonna guess at least 100.
It looks like you can get them for $40.
$40? Okay. Mike's going to cast Unmasked. We're going to see Force of Will and Fling here. We're going to take this Force of Will to just make absolutely sure that we are going to be able to do stuff. Now, these 2 treetop villages are going to activate the 3rd, and that's going to leave Kyle with some, a gemstone mine and 2 petals left over. Now, we're thinking about cracking these 2. All right, we'll crack.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. So we're just going to swing in. We're just going to get in now. So that just speeds up the clock by a turn.
It takes them off the fling though.
It takes them off every color. We notified Kyle's now all in on this 3/3 plan because he has no green spells in his deck unless he has sideboarded Intent mystery cards.
Clearly didn't.
So I think Mike's at 12, which is not a lot when you're starting down in 3/3s, but we have this, infinite blocker. So as long as we have, okay, we're going to at least take this fling. What do we have? Double fling. Okay. So we'll take that. I think Mike is just looking for the same turn Entomb and Reanimate combo.
Yeah.
We have to make sure Mike has a card left in hand. Otherwise, Curse Scroll isn't enough. But I think Mike's in a pretty good position.
Commentating on these decks, it's, again, either they have it or they don't. It's kind of like, well, Mike's going to win or he's not.
Yep. Kyle now has a blue source, so if you draw exactly 12 plus Stifle / Charm, I think Kyle may have a shot. But being able to just soak up 2 of this 3 damage every turn is pretty incredible. Are we going to block and try to shoot it? Oh, we're going to kill one. Oh no, this could be disaster for Kyle. Mike, for Mike, it doesn't really matter. If he misses, he still gets to block. Gets back Nether Spirit. This is going to give Mike all the time in the world, especially if this actually kills. We have an Innocent Blood. Okay. So we have the answer to a 12/12. It looks like we're going to block. It doesn't look like Kyle's going for the graveyard, so I think we missed. So Kyle should have perfect information. We know what's in Mike's hand. I want to know what Mike named. I was not listening.
Right.
Now, we don't have the ability to attack and activate with Fling. So we just have to be mindful that we don't, drop to 6, get an attack, and then get flung. Or at least drop to 3.
It does make drawing a land or petal a little more interesting for Kyle.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Kyle's just kind of on the let me fling you.
Well, we're going to get rid of Fling right now. Because Mike wants to just make sure he's got, 10 turns here to draw a way to kill Kyle.
That's what this dragon deck does. It neuters you and then spays you.
It also gets a card out of the hand, so Curse Scroll stays a little bit more live. Kyle, no choice but to swing in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and he's still playing Curse Scroll Roulette over here.
Yeah, we still have 2 cards? Yeah, 2 cards. So one of them is an Innocent Blood. What do we think the mystery card is? Kyle is maybe about to find out. Ooh, we have... Okay, so we are 1 Entomb away from Mike winning this. What do you think, chat? Do you think we'll draw an Entomb? We don't have a way to discard it if we draw the dragon, so there is a problem. Well, no, yeah, we don't. We don't have a way to do it. Is there anything that discards a card in hand? No. So I think
If he draws the dragon, he's in bad shape.
he is. Now we could still go for the contamination lock. If we still have spinning darkness in our deck, then.
Oh, he can always therapy himself.
Okay. Duh. Of course, therapy. Hey, chat.
Mike,
I promise you,
Mike,
I've cast
should
that
be
card
on
before.
Me and Robert were talking beforehand. We're like, I'm going to be the village idiot. He's like, I'm going to be the village idiot. It's not.
See, I think this method just promotes chat engagement, and I'm all about it. I think it's fine. We've got 16 people watching right now. Thank you, 16 people. Thanks for keeping us honest. Okay, we've got 3 cards here. We know Dance the Dead, Animate Dead is the next one. Okay, so we are we're close here.
Was it a beta?
That might have been.
So,
We're proxying potentially this Nether Spirit, and we have this beta Animate Dead. Do you have thoughts on that? Do you have opinions?
I don't know what to think anymore.
I will say I do like the pace this game has gone. Game 1 went very quickly. Game 2 went just as quickly, and Game 3 is like going on and on.
Grinding it out.
So let's see. So if Mike draws the Entomb, game is over. If Mike draws the dragon, then Mike has to pivot to his Mistress Factories. Those will put up roadblocks. Maybe Contamination Lock will be good enough.
Kyle is back on 5 colors.
Ooh, look at this. Okay, so we're gonna spend 3 life here, but we are going to get our Entomb.
Yeah.
Which still, that means Mike gets to cast it. If I'm Mike, I'm casting this now. Kyle has 1 card in hand. And we've shown, because we don't want to get another blue card plus force, but we also want to dodge mana leak. I don't know. We can't afford, I think, to sacrifice the Nether Spirit here to recast this Cabal Therapy, because we do need a way in case we could Cabal Therapy for mana leak, maybe, but no, Mike's going to say go. Let Kyle draw another card. I assume...
Is he going to activate both? Just one?
Just one.
Okay. Bloxies.
What do you think Mike is going to try to do this on his upkeep to Entomb, so that he has mana leak mana?
Wow. It's a deep cut. That's got to be why Kyle did that, right? Or at least to front. Yeah. Okay. What's this?
Oh, we're gonna fling him down to. Okay, so there we go. So now Mike's gonna go down to 2.
All right, so here comes the Entomb.
All right, so now we know the shields are down.
Yeah, it's over.
Coast is clear. Kyle knows he's dead. I think Kyle did that because he knows that he's dead.
Yeah, why not?
Because he knew he didn't draw a Force Bliss blue card. He knew he didn't draw a mana leak.
There's the Apocalypse Chime. Ding dong.
The Apocalypse Chime. He sends it over to Mike.
That was close, though. I mean, Kyle was in it up to the very end.
He was.
Surprisingly. I mean, I thought he would not get that close. He
drew the best card against Mike, which is all of his treetop villages.
What was that first forest he flipped?
He has a forest. He has a basic forest in this deck.
That's a sexy forest. What is that? I gotta know.
It is a John Avon's 7th edition forest. I can see it in the picture of his deck list.
It looks like a foil too.
It is a foil. Yeah, no, it is black border, which is the only way you can get 7th edition black border cards is if it's foil.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, that was interesting. So Mike wins that match 2 games to 1. Almost gets beaten down by Treetop Villages again. And our audience is left wondering what the secret sideboard plan is.
Hard fought and well earned by Michael. Can't complain about the entertainment value of that match. So congratulations to Mike and his plan worked out well. I'm sure Raja's gonna be real proud when he sees that. So, good match. Good match.
Cool. Alrighty, well, we have another match for you coming up shortly, so we're going to take a quick break while we go ahead and set that up, but stay tuned. We will be back shortly. We'll see you guys soon. Hello, everybody. We're back, and our players have already started jamming. But before we get to that, I'm joined here in the booth by Angelo. How's it going?
Going great. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I had a really good match one, and I'm excited for this match two. David's already starting off with one of my favorite openers, Veteran Explorer. I'm a big fan.
Poor Veteran Explorer, I die so much.
But it was made to die.
I get that, but it is also a little sad.
When I first looked at this format, I went to Mono Red and then died miserably because I didn't know what I was doing. The second time I went to this format, I built the Rock, and I brought in Veteran Explorer to pair with the Cabal Therapy, thinking it would block, little minions, turn 1 and turn 2, or I would cash it in and skip ahead to turn 4 and start playing my Rock things. So I'm a big fan of the deck. Now, what I'm not used to seeing is basic planes next to that card, so what do we think that indicates?
Well, I had the pleasure of playing David last week, and he's on a slightly different build of Rector, I think, if I remember correctly. Green, white, black.
Okay.
And he uses the white for swords and for Enlightened Tutor, which allows him to pull up things like Pernicious Deed or Recurring Nightmare or Survival, whatever he needs. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool way to solve that problem. A lot of the times when you play Rector, you don't have easy access to get the cards unless you're man enough to play Grim Tutor or something like that. So,
right.
And I got to say, I'm having a hard time getting Brian's video still. I've gone to the thing and reloaded it, so I might
go ahead and open up a new link. His link had some issues.
Yeah, I tried that.
Okay.
Oh, you know what it is? For some reason, okay, I see what's going on here. For some reason, when I click it, it's giving me the old link.
Yeah, that happened. That happened with me. I hope you guys enjoy those watching. We decided to bring Magic to you before solving all technical issues because we don't want to make you wait.
I boldly lied and said we're good to go. Oh, there's a Hypnotic Spectre down.
There's a Hypnotic Spectre and an Ivory Tower. I was waiting for you to see that because it is sexy, right? So we had turn 1 Ivory Tower into Cabal Ritual into Hippie, which is... I don't think there's enough Cabal Ritual for tempo decks like this being played. Yeah. It's not Dark Ritual, but it is still, some accelerant. So...
people play what's the one that gives you 3 red for 2? I mean, people play that in other formats.
Sure, Pyretic Ritual, absolutely. Now, what's interesting here, I don't know if Cabal Ritual is better than Lotus Petal. It might be because it's an instant, but also, you can just play the Lotus Petal.
It has some late game potential with the 5 mana upside, right?
Sure. There you go.
Not sure what the mana sink is for that. Where's he put? He's got coffers in there. So Nantucket Shade, I mean,
okay,
that could benefit from that.
Sure. Yeah, if you're playing Nantucket Shade and you want that 5 black mana, that is the upside.
I could see a situation where he pops a
Ooh.
disc and then has, 5 mana right there to drop, say, a hippie and something
Mm.
else, hippie
Mm-hmm.
or shade. So there's some pretty cool spell
Sure.
packs here. All right, so we missed a lot on David's side. He just got a Rector down. Oh, that's the other card, the Rector. So Rector down, in the
Yep,
great
that got
trick to the
hippied.
graveyard, right?
Yeah, so he got hippied, so no trigger
Got it.
there. David has played a uh, Survival of the Fittest, which we all know is a format pillar.
Bonkers.
Talk about playing Demonic Tutor in your deck. What if you can cast it every turn?
And not to mention the fact that he has Sylvan out, which gives him a fresh 3 every time he survivals.
Yes, this is a very strong board position.
Pretty hot.
Now, I will say that this hippie will come in and taking a card every turn, if left unanswered, is not trivial. David's already at 13. And Brian does have this Ivory Tower. If he just keeps cards in his hands, he will gain some life here shortly. And I don't know what David's ability to close the game, if he's got any combos in this deck that end the game. If not, there might be enough disruption just on board here to end the game if you don't have a way to deal with the hippie. Losing.
Well, I got a spoiler for you, man.
Okay.
Because I know that not only is David playing multiple copies of Squee, so he can negate the card loss by grabbing 2 Squees, but also I think he has 2 Squees in there. But also he does have a bit of a combo. He got me with Palancron, and I can't remember how it worked, but he'd slam Kron down, no blue mana, and then bounce it with something or sack it and recurring nightmare back in play over and over, infinite mana.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Somehow.
You discard it to your survival. It's in the yard. You use Recurring Nightmare to bring it back. It untaps all your lands, which should be more than enough to tap for Recurring Nightmare. And then you can just swap creatures over and over again. You have, 7 mana? You can... That's enough to get infinite?
Out. Yeah. He gets his whole graveyard out. He can get Rector and bounce Rector a few times and get a bunch of toolbox enchantments that he has in there. Yeah, he's set.
So, yep, we're going to activate Survival here. I imagine we're looking for a Squee, because we'd love to hit a Squee with this trigger here.
There's Squee, indeed. David is down to 13.
Right. It's enough total to get your game plan done, but it's not a good cushion.
Dicey position.
We're gonna maybe 6 more turns if Brian does absolutely nothing else. And notably, this Ivory Tower has done nothing. It would have been better as a rack or something at this point.
Once he draws Necro.
Sure.
That's pretty good.
This is true. Once we draw the Necro. All right, so we've got... Here's our escape patch, everybody.
This got really interesting.
So, if I didn't know better, it looks like one side's playing old school and the other side's playing middle school.
Seriously.
Pay no attention to this Cabal ritual in the graveyard, everybody.
Unoptimized old school because of that ritual. And then the, snow-covered swamps.
Sure, yes. Snow-covered swamps. Not quite old school friendly.
What's the reason for the 9-9 split on swamp snow-covered?
Swag? I don't know, swagger maybe,
I mean, I can't think of a single card that
it is a hedge against predict, maybe, if you think your opponent's going to predict against you. Yeah, we're not playing Curse Scroll, so I guess there's no downside.
Right. That's not even matter. Anyways,
maybe he couldn't decide against which art he wanted, and so maybe he's playing actual snow-covered swamp and then Ice Age, non-snow-covered but snowy art swamp.
That's a choice. Probably a bold choice.
Probably to see if he could get it past us commentators. But nope, we're too sharp.
So David, it looks like David just drew an extra card. Down to 7.
Yeah, so he probably took something off of this Sylvan.
Yeah, I think he did.
I think that's a good indication that we feel really good about our position.
He's got a lot of cards down, and Disc is just waiting to ruin his day. So
Yeah, going up on an extra card, I think that's probably fine, because if we can just end this exchange.
oh, here it is, Poundcon.
All right, I don't know.
I'm gonna turn his audio on and let him explain it to me.
No, we're gonna get extra mana with this Veteran Explorer. Okay, so we're gonna get 2 extra basics with Veteran Explorer, which gives us the 6 mana we need to start the combo. And then when we loop Veteran Explorer again, we'll get more land, so we'll start netting mana. Okay, so we've got infinite mana. Do we have a creature in the hand?
I mean, with Rector, he can pull out. I don't know if I've seen Form of the Dragon in there.
I mean, any number of ways with infinite mana to kill your opponent.
Just throwing cards.
We're gonna make infinite creatures.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, which doesn't do anything. They don't have haste, and we have this disc.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice.
I mean, I guess maybe we're just going to assemble other things. Do we have Goblin Bombardment? If we have Goblin Bombardment and infinite creatures, that's a combo.
Maybe. I mean, maybe he's thinking that he'll wait for the disc to happen. No? All right, we're just doing a thing.
So, for those of you who have not watched this format much and are not familiar with Rector, when it dies, it lets you search for an enchantment in your deck and put it into play. And Recurring Nightmare is a card that lets you return it to your hand and sacrifice a creature to reanimate a creature from your graveyard. So we are sacrificing Veteran Explorer. It triggers. We get 2 basic land. We're going to likely target the Palinchron, which comes into play and untaps all of our lands. So we're going to float some mana. And we can loop this now because we have a mana advantage. It costs 6 mana each time to get Palinchron in play. But if we have more than 6 land, we're going to net a mana each interaction, which should generate, as we loop it, infinite mana. We're going to get all of the basic lands out of our deck in the process. And then eventually we can start getting Academy Rectors and get any enchantment in our deck out of our deck. Now, this is going to sacrifice creatures every time.
He's explaining it right now.
Okay. Well, then he'll do it better than me. I'm going to put his audio on for everybody.
I have a bird, so I can discard that for Wall of Blossoms, draw my deck, or
he's going to draw his deck for Wall of Blossoms.
And then, can I show you the kill?
And then he's going to show him the kill right now.
Is this turn?
He's doing it this turn.
So I get Chroma,
he's going to show us,
and then I use Spike Feeder.
His plan is to get a couple extra dudes.
Loop that to put infinite counters on it with the infinite mana.
Search up Wall of Blossoms with the survival.
Okay.
Draw his deck with Wall of Blossoms.
Yep.
And then once he has the deck in his hand, he's going to play these cards. A Chroma with the Spike Feeder. That was the combo.
Oh, okay. There we go. Infinite counters on a Chroma. Chroma has haste. Disc is tapped.
Infinite counters on a hasty Chroma. He's got infinite life.
Wow.
He's got infinite mana. I mean, he just decided to go like God mode with this deck. I think that's
lots of angles. Okay, well, I like this. Another crazy survival deck, but so this is definitely requires the Recurring Nightmare and Palinchron. So for any of those who didn't catch that, the combo, you get the state where you have infinite mana, infinite loops with your Recurring Nightmare. You then are able to get, with your mana, you can search for Wall of Blossoms, which lets you draw cards when it ATBs, which gives you infinite draw triggers with the loop that you've established. Draw your deck. Then you can play a Chroma, which has haste, and then your Spike Feeder, which comes into play with 1/1 counters that you can then move. You make infinite of those because you get infinite Spike Feeders. Move all those counters onto a Chroma. A Chroma has haste, and you attack, and Brian cannot block. So that is a combo. That is a little convoluted. All those pieces do something on their own in this deck. I like that. Notably, we didn't need a combo kill with our Academy Rector. So it looks like maybe Academy Rector is just to get Recurring Nightmare here, or maybe a Deed.
Well, and that might be part of the sideboard plan here. Like, I mean, if you think about it, he's got access to a lot of different tool pieces. I mean, he could get Goblin Bombardment. He could go for what's the disenchant if he wants to blow up somebody who's playing artifact enchantment heavy stuff. He can snag Engineered Plague. I mean, you know,
sure.
You get any color enchantment you want. If I was him, I'd be playing Form of the Dragon, because that wrecks some people. I mean,
I think it's a good one of. It doesn't have a lot of cost to put one in your deck, because if you just get to play your, Academy Rector, you can just get it, and some decks can't beat it, and then you don't have to invest a lot of resources and have all the things. One thing that I did see there is with all those sacrifice triggers, you can make infinite bears with Collar of the Claw. So if we do have something like Goblin Bombardment, that could be enough to kill on the spot. Or if you're playing an opponent who doesn't have Nevril's Disc in play, you could theoretically get, if you don't have quite all the pieces, you just make infinite 2/2s and attack next turn.
That does suck a little bit though, because Recurring Nightmare is sorcery speed, and so you have to give your opponent a turn, which sometimes isn't great.
Yes.
Some in the chat's like, "What happened? I missed the end." Yeah, we can't explain all that.
So go back, watch the video. We went ahead and explained the entire thing. We even checked in with David, so you can watch. Short answer is David assembled the combo and combo killed Brian before Brian could untap and have access to Nevril's Disc.
And the combo was dope.
Combo was dope. I did enjoy the combo. I was very pleased. So, but that makes sense, right? We have Recurring Nightmare. We have Survival of the Fittest. If that doesn't scream creature combo kill. Oh, and speaking of combo killer, we have turn 1 Tormod's Crypt. So,
love to see it.
It will answer at least one stage of the combo for David. David does get the option to play around it. And with the combo being sorcery speed, that does advantage the Tormod Crypt. A lot of these survival combos don't need.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
Ritual showing what it can do.
All right, everybody.
Turn 2 Necro.
So let's introduce you to a card dear to my heart, Necropotence, with its best buddy here, Ivory Tower. So already, as Chad is pointing out, this is a completely different game. Brian firmly in the driver's seat here. We're just going to draw all the cards, and we get to draw, 4 or 5 cards every turn with his Ivory Tower, allowing us to just gain all that life back.
Bananas.
And since we've seen David can go infinite, there's not a real incentive for Brian to just gain life every turn. He's going to pay it and draw these cards until he finds exactly what he needs.
Good point. No point in going up to 60 life.
Yeah.
So, all right. Shade Dubs Tower. A lot of cards.
Okay. Well, now we can just draw cards and gain life. So,
He's drawing just 3?
4K no los dos. He must have 4 other good cards in his hand. At least.
Okay. Now he can activate Necro on. I have something I have to admit to everybody watching. I don't know how Necropotence works. I've never played with that magic card.
Okay, well, as someone who has won a league here with it, I will be happy to
I should
explain.
also add, I was around in '96 playing Urnum-Geddon against Necropotence with like half my deck having pro black cards in it just to
stop, Black Summer or Black Winter. Yeah.
But I never bothered to deal with it.
So Necropotence, 3 mana, 3 black mana enchantment. First thing is skip your draw step. The next block of text reads, you may pay 1 life to exile a card with Necropotence. At the end step, the end of your turn, you can put all of the exiled cards into your hand. So you pay 1 life, kind of draw a card.
Before discard, though, right?
Before discard, yes. So you can remove, let's say, 5 cards. You pay 5 life. You end step. You put those 5 cards in your hand. Then you have the chance to maybe cast a spell or 2 in your end step. You have priority, but then you will enter cleanup step and have to discard.
Okay, we got a duress. We get to see what's in David's hand.
Duress against the creature deck. Not ideal. I mean, I guess it does hit Recurring Nightmare and Survival. But we're gonna
or Collar of the Claw though.
It does not hit Collar of the Claw or Squee. Not if it could hit Squee. I don't think you'd want to hit Squee.
Yeah.
So David's hand, this 2/2 and 1/1 are not going to do anything against double Ivory Tower. Just that by itself.
He also has the tower, so his own tower, Phyrexian Tower, so he can get that Veteran Explorer off the field pretty quick.
Sure.
Not sure that he wants to give the guy with infinite draws any mana, but sometimes you do what you got to do.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot happening here. We do have 2 Tormod Crypts here, so now we have enough to stop a Academy Rector. Now, Academy Rector has a different kind of trigger than you'd normally see today. When it goes to the graveyard and dies, you get to go search your library for the enchantment. But it does have this trigger that it hits the graveyard first and then triggers. So there is an opportune moment in the way that that ability is worded where you can remove it from the graveyard, and that will actually effectively counter the trigger, and your opponent will not get to search and tutor up an enchantment. So Brian has, shields up, combo on, and all of the relevant interaction he needs to make sure he survives until he finds a way to win this game.
Ooh, okay, Wasteland is also interesting. Oh boy.
Okay, all right, here we go. Here's the win condition. We can just make a bunch of mana and the 3rd Tormod's Crypt. Okay, so David's gonna have to go play the other half of his deck, which is creatures, and he's got some solid creatures. Survival decks normally have some decent creatures. It's not always the combo. So, but are any of those creatures good enough to go through the double Ivory Tower?
He's got Pernicious Deed colors, man.
All right, so Pernicious Deed absolutely would clear this board up and punish Brian significantly for playing all 3 of these crypts.
Well, I got to be honest. I walked right into that in my game 2 against him. I was like, Phyrexian Furnace Tower, or Phyrexian Furnace Tormod Crypt, and then turn 2, I think I put down another Furnace and saw that he...
I can't lose! Oh, except to that card. Yeah, Pernicious Deed, very good card. David doesn't have a good way to tutor it right now, unless he's playing like an Enlightened Tutor's deck, which he has the mana for, so... David's not out yet. The clock that Brian is presenting is not steep. So, David at full 20, playing a blocker. So we have a blocker every turn for this creature. So, Brian not in a position to lose, but certainly not in a position to win just yet.
And does he have a blocker every turn, or does he have a blocker until he pops a crypt?
Well, because we can Squee and cast Squee every turn.
Yeah, but Squee goes to the graveyard, and then he's
this is true. Yeah, no.
Out. So why wouldn't you just burn a crypt on that?
I appreciate you reminding me that I just talked about this to everyone else, that he has all these crypts. This is true. If I've got 3 crypts, I'd cash it in to make sure my opponent cannot block me every turn.
Sure, like burn one of those on a Squee.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times those decks only play 1 Squee, and that would be pretty punishing.
Yeah, it would be.
That guy out of there. He's got the coffers down too, which makes that shade 40 times more dangerous.
It does. So Brian is representing, what is that? 4, 5, 6, 6 black sources of mana. So we could pump 6 times here. David's trying to decide what he's blocking with. It sounds like he's blocking with the Veteran Explorer, so we're going to pump once to keep it alive. Veteran Explorer does get to trigger upon entering, as it enters the graveyard. So there's no opportunity to stifle that trigger with a with the crypt here. But that does mean Brian gets more swamps, which
Okay.
quadruples the power of this, the potential power of this shade.
When coffers can now tap for 6 mana, so with the Wasteland and the Swamp, he's got 11 mana. It's a lot of mana.
That is a good thing to point out. I was counting 2 swamps activating that coffers, but Wasteland can activate it as well. So Wasteland gets to do a swamp impression in that moment and net an extra point of damage here. So those extra swamps on Brian's side are not free for David.
Now, he just tapped 2 swamps for that 6 mana coffers.
All right, what are we casting? Oh, Drain Life. Is this a Drain Life?
Whoa.
I'm assuming this is Drain Life. I mean, he's playing either a proxy or a textless promo or something.
That's a textless promo corrupt.
Corrupt. Okay, so almost like a Drain Life. It's going to deal damage equal to the amount of swamps that you have. And we just searched 2 up and we have 6. So there we go. David drops 6 life points.
Over the face.
Chat telling me it's corrupt.
He gains 6 too, right?
Yes, he does gain 6.
Wow, he's got so much life. This is every Necro player's dream.
Yes, this is the dream. Now, let's look at it though. As far as viable strategies here in middle school, this deck is firing on every cylinder right now, and
Yes.
it still doesn't look as definitive for Brian as I feel like it should. Maybe it's inevitable, and that's just the way this deck is played. What do you think?
I mean, that's a fair point. Chat mentioned that he's missing some Lake of the Deads, which would make this deck a lot scarier. But like, what is your finisher, right? Like, Spirit of the Night, like that gets you somewhere. But what's the card you draw and go, okay, it's over? Corruption, maybe, like get the corruption lock.
Corruption or Drain Life, just fireball, right? We just want to fireball our opponent.
In a format though with Force of Wills running rampant, that Drain Life situation is a little dicier.
It is dicey. I mean, okay, so if you're in this position against a blue deck with Force of Will or Counter Magic, you do have access to the rest of your deck via Necropotence. You will draw your Duresses, your Himbatorox, so you can force it through if you need to.
That's an excellent point.
But, you know, let's say if Brian was playing against a red deck, he'd have 2 Ivory Towers, and once he just starts gaining 8 life a turn, I don't think the red deck could even win.
Right.
Brian doesn't even have to do anything else after that.
So Brian's got to show us his hand here. Yeah, he's got all the goods.
So he does have a Drain Life. I think that's what we're going to see get removed here.
Yeah.
We have another Corrupt, it looks like. Is that what that card next to Drain Life was?
That is Dystopia.
Dystopia. Ooh, do you know what Dystopia does? I don't know what Dystopia does.
I know it hates on green and white cards.
This sounds like a Dystopia to me. Yeah, I'm going to look at the Oracle text.
Ice Age hate card. I'm on it. I think it's Ice Age, not the Lions.
All right. Dystopia is a 3-mana enchantment, 2 black, 1 colorless, with cumulative upkeep, or cumulative upkeep of pay 1 life, which we have plenty of. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a green or white permanent. So definitely a card geared towards going long. The paying the life is sort of free for quite a while.
It's got some sexy art.
You know, the art for this card, chat, go ahead and look it up. It looks like it could be the cover of an old, you know, steamy romance novel, and like the, you know,
like fantasy romance novel.
Exactly.
All right, so we're popping up here with 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 possible manas. With a land drop, so 12 possible manas. He's going to lead with the hymn. David's handless.
Yep.
So this is looking really good.
Yeah, David's creatures don't really do too much. What we've got 2 2/2s and or 3 2/2s.
Down.
So we can attack for 6, which I think is as much as Brian can gain. Yeah, that's not a good spot for David then. If Brian can gain 6 life every turn. All right, yep. Bear down. Under the bus.
We're also sacking a white or green permanent, so the birds, the bears are.
Yes.
Days are numbered.
And then as soon as this Mesmeric Fiend has to give Brian back this Drain Life, the door shuts real fast, because I think Brian is very close to having a lethal fireball.
Just popping the tower.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, so I am trying to look at the size of the remove from game pile. So Necropotence does have an additional line of text. If you were to discard a card, essentially to anything other than like natural discard steps. So if you're like discarding Necropotence to hand size at the end, those cards get removed. So I was trying to gauge how many cards Brian has actually drawn, but it's not going to matter because Brian's going to go ahead and win this game.
And all right, we got another heater of a match on our hands here.
Yep, we're going to tie it up here 1-1.
Getting a chance to shine, and if this goes like the odds would have it sometimes, we'll get to see a nice long slugfest game 3 here.
Thanks, players, for making both matches go to game 3, giving us more content for our fan base here. All 12 of you now. We have 12 viewers. Thank you. Appreciate you.
We've lost viewers. We've done such a great job.
You know, I found, so like, I mean, especially a lot of our East Coast friends hop on stream. They'll spam their, associated, groups, and they'll all show up to watch their friend. And as soon as their friend's done, they all disappear.
Fair.
Which makes sense. It's fine.
Was that what crew were these other guys rolling with? I know Kyle's from around here. In Cleveland, for the record.
Okay, cool. Honestly, I'm the worst person to ask this right now, even though I probably should know. I'll tell you this much. I do not believe they are Austinites here, because I do not recognize the names. However, I haven't actually been to our local Austin meetup in a hot minute. Like I said earlier, I'm qualified for the regional championship. Yay me. I have to play Pioneer, boo me, so I've been focusing a lot on that, not playing sweet things like middle school or old school.
I will play in Pioneer is Mace's End.
You know what?
I ever will play in Pioneer.
They've printed some new gates, so like that's.
But they're not Pioneer legal.
They're printing a new one that comes out in a week that is Pioneer legal.
Is it good?
It comes into play untapped if it's like your first or second land, and when it comes into play, it becomes you pick a color, and then it can make mana of any of that color for the rest of the game, and you pay a life to tap it. So,
not good.
It's fine. It's another gate, so now you can have 11 or 12.
Make Gates the tier 1 deck it was when Pioneer was first introduced. Okay, let's just be honest.
I played Gates in Standard, and it was absolutely wonderful. So, but
I just trash format, trash deck.
That's fair. Yes, I've decided, hey, this is really cool. I get to go with my friends to this cool thing. Never qualified for something like that. It's a fun thing. And then I got to play Pioneer.
Those big events are a good time. You like it.
It will be, yeah. No, the worst case scenario is scrub out and eat good food, right? So that's the plan.
All right.
But
Old Border City of Rest. Love to see it.
I do. So I await the day where I get to refocus on middle school and old school and these things. If you are in the Texas area, Romancing the Stones is hosting a vintage and old school double day, Saturday, Sunday tournament in Houston. I think I'm going to try to steal away for that. Play that with 0 practice and reps. It'll be great. But until then, our match is playing cool Magic. They are playing middle school. We're going to see one of my favorite cards, Tim Torok, come straight at David's hand here.
Bonkers Magic card. If that card wasn't printed in Fallen Empires, what would it be worth? $5? $10? Printed into Oblivion?
Yeah, actually. quite easily. I mean, it's already a couple bucks as is, despite a reprint after this.
So Monk Realist, and what was the other card you had there? Was it a land?
Tower.
Phyrexian Tower.
Yep. So notably, David here kept a 2-lander, played his 2 lands, and didn't cast any spells. Yeah, exactly. Brian showing that he is showing up to play defense with 2 crypts again.
And he didn't see the deed yet, which I know is in there.
Yeah, so maybe David kept, he's going to drop another land and play deed. So we've played 2 City of Brass. We're going to take a 1 off this fetch. Oh man, are we going to drop down to 17 to cast a deed? I'd love to see that.
It's worth it.
Yeah, cleans up 2 Tormod's crypts here and a tower.
Yeah, Realist is good too, because if he just gets Recurring Nightmare, I mean, he can start popping stuff.
Sure.
The Realist hits enchantments, right?
Yes, it hits only enchantments. I feel like this format needs a creature that comes into play and can hit an artifact or an enchantment. That might be too good for the survival decks.
Too good.
Too good? All right.
Can't
too good,
that.
Chat, do you think that's too good?
It's too good.
If you play a survival deck, don't answer, because we know it's too good.
Yeah, survival players keep them mouth shut.
I want a Monk Realist in green. That's what I want. I want to be able to...
Yeah.
That's what I'd like. I'd take a Monk Realist in green.
Because you have the monkey.
Yeah, you have the monkey for artifacts.
Okay,
And you
so we got
have
Rector.
Elvish Lyrist, which does a good monk impression.
Yeah, it's not good against Engineered Plague, though. Let me tell you about that.
Nope. It is not. Oh, another Hymn to Torok. Okay, so...
Okay, so what's that blue? Oh, there's the Kron. Okay, so that's slightly helpful.
Yep. So David is hellbent. We're 1 Phyrexian Tower away from activating this Rector. I guess we just battle. Rector has 1 power, right?
Rector should probably get in there.
Yeah. All right. So 4 mana, 1 power. Let's go. Clock is on.
2 Ivory Towers.
Right.
You could literally just wait.
I know.
All right, let's see some action here, boys. How many cards does Brian have?
Duress. He's got 1 card. You've taken all of stuff, and you hit a card. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Why didn't he cast that? Why
and
didn't
then
he
sacrifice?
The...
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't get it. I mean, I guess he had 2. No, he only had 1 card, so it's not like a great hit.
Sure.
So now we're casting Wall of Blossoms.
Yep, we're gonna draw a card. Okay.
We're sacking the Rector, right?
We have to sack it in second main. If we're not sacking now, then I don't know why we're playing this in our deck. Like, this is the whole point, right? Is to put this Rector out and cheat something into play. If we don't want to cheat something into play because it's not good enough, then what are we doing?
He just passed. I mean, he can get... Okay, so...
He can go get Deed.
Stage doesn't help. He can get Palancron.
Oh, no, hey, you know what? We're doing the same thing we did earlier. He's got 2 crypts on board. You can't Rector. When you go back and watch this, Brian and David, pour one out for us, for our brains. It's tired because we've literally covered this and then promptly forgot it.
Yeah, so
only the best here at Romancing the Stones.
Primo quality stuff. So yeah, he's under thumb with those 2 on board. So he's just trying to draw a deed.
Yeah, and now we're gonna force the issue with this Dystopia. Now, notably, we are far from getting life with these towers, so Dystopia is not free, but it is going to be effective. Well, David is has a few permanents here.
Just gonna wait till that Rector pops.
I mean, it's hard, right? Because if you're David, like, I almost just want to let my whole board die. Let's go ahead and eat a crypt, But if I'm just gonna throw my hand into this Dystopia and sack my board and eventually maybe convince Brian to let it go, I've still lost a lot of permanents.
That's a good point. In the long game, maybe throwing things under the Dystopia bus
Yeah.
is not the answer, especially when you're waiting to draw PD or any other way to get those things off.
Yep.
Off
Your
the
opponent's already
map.
cast 2 Himdataraks. I don't expect another one. Brian's already incentivized to keep cards in his hand so we can try to gain life. Because what? We need at least 5 cards in hand before we start gaining life, which we're 4 cards away from, so we get another 4 more turns before we can try to mitigate this damage.
He's going to eat the crypt. And take a peek at this card.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Just forcing...
Well, David, he must have drawn something good.
The other Himdatark. I was just saying there isn't another one in there. Oh my gosh.
The one you're saying you don't expect.
Well, I would have gotten got for that.
If you're playing him, you're playing 4.
I know he's playing 4, but I just would not have expected the third one this early in the game. But Brian has it. Which like kind of puts David in a tough spot, right? Because now like we've lost a permanent already, and then we're going to like we just need to play these things out.
Okay.
Like why not?
This is interesting. Dystopia makes this real interesting.
Yep. Now notably we lost Palancron, so we've lost the combo.
Yep. Well, you still have the Achroma. Well, I'm sorry, you don't have the infinite mana, you're right.
We don't have infinite anything at the moment. Now that doesn't mean David doesn't have another thing going on. If we have more veteran explorers, I think 2 veteran explorers and a recurring nightmare is a combo in and of itself.
True.
To remove all the basic land out.
That does a lot for Brian too, though.
It does do a lot for Brian. This is true. It is not free in this against this deck when you're playing against Corrupt and Drain Life.
Yeah.
It's something I like to do in my rock deck. I'll just do the value train, and I normally have way more basics than my opponent in most games. But I don't know if it'd be something I'd be incentivized to do against Brian.
The rock hits hard too.
It does.
What's your top decking at that point? A lot of times will have a lot more impact.
Yep.
I feel like though with the green, white, black situation, he might have enough non-basics to where that's a futile effort.
Yeah, this is very true. I think if I'm David, I want to find a creature that is going to survive and put some pressure on, because Brian's life total is about to get pressured real heavily, and we don't really have the time to draw cards unless we hit exactly Necro. So we're going to get rid of this one card. We're going to get rid of Survival. All right, so David needs a creature to really get going here.
Sure does.
I think we're going to see the wall hit the dust. Yep. Draw, hope it's a creature. Or another green permanent, or white permanent. Alright, tapping green. Ooh, tapping birds. Okay. This makes sense. Sure, Cabal Therapy. What do you have in your card? Make sure Brian can't keep this Dystopia forever.
Just say him. Right?
Fair. Yes.
I mean, it's probably not Necro. It's probably not him. Might be Drafts. Could be in the Format script.
Necro would have been slammed.
We'd feel it.
Oh my gosh, it's him.
What did I say?
Called shot. Okay. Somebody clip that, please, because bonkers. Jeez. Yeah, okay, so the third him would have gotten me, and the fourth him absolutely would have gotten me. That is, wow.
Bonkers.
What do you think, chat? How many hymns is Brian playing with?
6.
6 hymns. That's a good amount of hymns. I'd play 6 hymns if I could.
He doesn't realize the different art doesn't make him different cards.
All right, pop quiz. What is the best him art? Chat, tell me what is your favorite him art?
Man, why would you start that conversation?
So I have a coworker who sells vintage stuff and has been on the whole like ridiculous vintage T-shirt train, and I showed them a copy of the Howling Wolf, art.
Oh yeah.
And they are determined to try to turn it into a T-shirt to match.
It would be a sick shirt.
Yeah, it would be. It would be incredible.
Be a lot of nerds around the country wearing that shirt. Wolf pack of one.
All right, so we get a monkey, and monkey blows up the other.
Okay.
Rip. So we've got a game now. Brian's got pressure though. I suspect this monkey's gonna get sacrificed to Dystopia. He's gonna decide it's not long for this world. Which means, Brian's at 11, which is not. He can keep this Dystopia maybe one more turn to get rid of the survival if David does not cast anything else. But if David can come out the other end with the survival intact, he's in a very good spot to maybe build back some position. If Brian can draw Necropotence, then this Dystopia is staying around for a while, and we're going to gain a lot of life.
Okay, so we've got some action here.
Ooh.
In the grave. What's he getting? Squee probably?
Yeah, we have to get Squee, I think, because we have the mana to keep going.
Yeah.
And we have some life points to play with for these city brasses. This Reflecting Pool only taps for black right now, I believe, so... Or is Reflecting Pool your opponent or your lands? I forget every time. Chat, let me know.
Okay, there she is.
Okay, so clearly it is your own land because it is tapping for green here. Table art for him to Turok. I think that's what I've been playing in my old school deck. Yes, you're right, Chad. I am thinking of Felwar Stone.
I feel like you got to do one of each because the card is an auto 4 of.
I do like that. Hoover art is good. That being called out as well.
Posey though is very colorful.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of the few times where a card having 4 different arts and all of them are really can stand on their own for certain things. I like that. Not every card that has that treatment succeeds at that.
And yeah, Raja, you're definitely allowed to play 4, but have a favorite.
I did ask what this is true. I did ask which one is best. Fair.
All right, so we're building back up here. Wasteland, okay. That makes for some interesting.
Wasteland will get rid of this Reflecting Pool, but it doesn't tap for black, which I think Brian would probably want more. I mean, he's gonna just get a bunch of swamps.
Yeah, I feel like he would just want to pop a city, or wait for the Phyrexian Tower because that's probably the most utility he's got.
Well, if we go ahead and get... See, David now has basic lands, which means he can tutor up a Rector now. We've let Dystopia go, so David managed to survive through it, which was fine, because it did cost Brian half of his life, which isn't irrelevant if you can provide some pressure. This Nantuko Shade is kind of a problem.
How many permanents did Dystopia take out? At least 4, right?
Yeah, at least 4. So
kind of worth it.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Would you pay 2 life to get rid of 4 permanents? 2 life per permanent. That's basically what Brian did. Not too bad.
Fiery Justice gets some play. What's the black-red one?
Sure.
Breath of Fire or whatever it's called. Those are okay.
Is Brian playing any removal other than disc? He's playing Drain Life. You can Drain Life creatures.
True. Can't Drain Life a Chroma, though.
No, you cannot Drain Life and a Chroma. This is very true. So one of the things that I've seen here is that we have no more hippies. I think hippies are out. There are some number of diabolic edicts, which are not good against Rector. Those probably aren't in the deck anymore. And look at what we did. We tutored up a Rector, which is going to roadblock this shade pretty easily.
Trucking, yeah. What a sticky card.
So
I mean, there's not a lot of good choices here for Brian.
we need how does black give shade evasion? Because that's all it's missing, right? Like if this shade was a hippie instead, I think it'd be infinitely better. I mean, in this board state, sure. So maybe that doesn't mean anything, but
even if it had shadow.
If it had shadow, it would be bonkers.
Yeah. But no, I don't know how you would even just enchant it with something. Can't think of anything.
You could give it fear. You know, there's a fear gives it evasion. That'd be just a classic.
All right.
There's probably something from Tempest that gives a creature shadow with an enchantment. I don't know what color it is.
Yeah, it feels like the kind of thing. They have the blue one that gives a shadow until end of turn.
Yeah, that's probably not the plan we're on because it's bad against probably every other situation.
Well, yeah, it's blue.
So for Brian, do we just attack in and let David do his thing? I mean, David's going to grab Recurring Nightmare.
So what's David's thing? Recurring Nightmare. Palinchron's out. So,
but Achroma's in, and we know about Achroma, so that's probably no. We can't afford, because we can't beat Achroma.
True. Once Achroma's down. Well, I mean, does he have a way to make him sack creatures?
Edict, if they're still in the deck.
Yeah, good point. Edict is an instant speed card, too, so I feel like he might want to keep it after seeing the way he died last game. You know, you keep 2 mana up, and that Achroma Spike Feeder thing is...
Yep.
No, it's still good because you sack Spike Feeder or whatever.
Yep.
You would have to have the foresight to have Spike Feeder out.
We can beat an Achroma attacking us if we have like a full grip, because these 2 towers are going to gain 6 life. So we can just kind of trade. We won't be able to draw any cards if we have a Necro in play. Not reliably.
Ooh, Cover of Darkness.
Cover of Darkness. Yeah, Cover of Darkness. That is, that'll give your chosen creature type fear. That's a solid card, sure.
That would be a
good call, chat.
Card at least. All right.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I think that'd be fine for this deck, just to, you know, have a way to get in.
So maybe like without infinite mana, the plan is just to do the long haul, do the thing most survival decks typically do, which is grind you out.
And that's a good proposition for Brian. If we just continue to draw cards, we are going to start gaining life. And that's going to make it very difficult for David to kind of grind.
Yeah.
Now, as we mentioned, Achroma will just beat everything in Brian's deck aside from the Nevi's Disc, which we have seen exists. Nevi's Disc is a good answer to a board state like that. So Brian could be playing towards that. I think his deck does have the ability, we can keep a shade in hand, gain some life, hide behind our towers, and then play a disc. And then if David doesn't have the answer, then we get to reset the board, and David's not gaining a lot of life because we're out of the infinite combo, and that means a shade sitting in the hand can just come back down and start battle cruising his way through as a just big giant creature.
A good reset.
That's
would probably be Brian's best hope here.
Yeah,
no, a Necro off the top.
Brian's letting David go, get his recurring nightmare. So I don't know if that's just Brian saying, "Hey, let's just get on with the game," or if he's got follow-ups. So we could play Another
He's got
Dystopia?
Ritual.
Okay.
Ritual is the face down card. I saw him flash it.
Okay, well...
So we know he has Ritual in him and Dystopia.
See, this Dystopia, though, like, I'm really wary because that's not going to beat an Necroma, which is what's going to happen this turn. We're going to see an Necroma come into play. It's going to attack. Brian's going to drop from 11 to 5 and not be able to afford keeping this Dystopia in play. So, I don't know if... I don't think I would have attacked. I mean, you kind of have to because Dystopia just makes the Rec sack itself.
Yeah.
So... I'm very curious to know what Brian's thinking here. I think if I was Brian, my plan would just be to wait. I've got these towers to kind of hedge. David's not doing anything really threatening. I mean, he's got an active survival, and that's a problem. Let's see, how much mana do we have there? There's 5, 6, 7. So, like, we're also in the territory of just hard casting their Chroma. Maybe Brian doesn't have a choice, but...
He's in, I mean, they're both in beat up shape, but they still have a lot of spunk. I think David is definitely in a bit of a hole though with that Palicron.
Yep. Here comes the Acroma.
Here she comes, yeah. Ooh, okay, Caller is interesting.
Caller is real good against Dystopia. Sacrifice some stuff, get some more cannon fodder.
For sure.
Yeah, I think Brian's out here was to have played Navernal's Disc last turn. So I think it's too late. Because Necro doesn't even gain him enough life to get to a stable point.
Right.
Because Chroma's going to attack this turn. I assume.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the possibility that he, if he has to sack the birds to get the Acroma out.
We're going to play this 2/2 before activating the Recurring Nightmare?
Yeah, sure. Maybe he wants to keep that birds. And turn. He does not want to keep that birds. Crane life. No, drain life.
Drain life is a draw that will gain him some life, sure. So getting drain life, we do have enough mana for a corrupt here. I believe we have 6 mana, so we're not dead completely on board.
Coffers would be pretty nice.
Yep.
Well, he has a ritual in hand too, so he can get a big drain life popping because
a big drain life that would help. Because now David has a blocker forever. So if we just like run around our drain life. Oh, nope. Swamp. Game over. That's it.
Boom. That was uneventful end.
Yeah, so David just like sticking it to it and just sticking with it. And Brian's deck started off well and just couldn't. He was just missing the Necro. That was what the whole deck needed.
The Necro or even Cabal Coffers to give that shade some real body.
Sure.
And then draw into a drain life situation.
Yeah.
That was an ending though.
David's gonna win this game 2-1 against Brian here, and continue marching forward. Great games. Both of our matches today have been fun and enjoyable. I have appreciated them. We did get to see Necropotence do its thing. That was great. I enjoyed that. We did get to see a cool combo finish out of David's deck. That was fun as well.
I wonder if that Pernicious Deed was a fever dream that I had, because we never saw that.
We never saw that once.
Oh, there it is right there.
Ah.
It would have come in real handy.
Yeah.
So
that would have been great. I mean, I feel like there was a time where we could have Rectored into the deed in the beginning, but
yeah,
maybe we didn't want to do that. I don't know. Oh no, we could because of the Tormod crypts. We've covered this for the 3rd time.
Yeah, someday we'll understand how those two cards interact.
Someday. Mm.
Oh man. Well, that was a good night of Magic. Nice healthy stream, not too long, not too short. Some interesting matches.
I had fun. I hope you watching at home had fun listening to us blunder through our commentary. It was great. It was fun. We had 2 good matches. We will have 2 more matches same time next week, 7 p.m. Central on Thursdays is what we've been managed to commit to and keep up. So tune in next week. If you want to see some of our past leagues, check out our YouTube channel. We've uploaded the past ones there. But yeah, so we'll have week 4 out of our 6-week league next week, and then after that we will cut the top 8. The semifinals or quarterfinals will play off camera, and then semifinals and final will play on stream.
Are you playing in this thing, Robert?
I am not. So
you're doing the Pioneer thing.
I'm doing the Pioneer thing, yeah, and we'll see if I come to regret that. So, but I am here in the booth watching everything happen, so I get to live vicariously through all of you. So I'm looking forward to some more sweet decks and maybe some more sweet sideboard plans. We'll see.
Right on, man. Well, thanks for having me, and it's always a pleasure hanging with these leagues. So.
All right. Well, we'll catch all of you guys later. Tune in next week. Take it easy.
Have a good night.